tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Welcome to a shorter edition of Trudging Together. I hope everybody's having a good sober day. It's going okay. Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do today. Got a little extra time because my therapist is sick, so we won't be meeting today. Yeah. Singing and singing, huh? I might get to some singing. Leisure, good to see you again. Man, my cats are being so whiny. A mini trudge, kind of like a mini. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. I apologize. I thought it was a background. There we go. That's kind of cool, huh? And it matches. How about this one? Let's go with this background. Woo! Funky, funky. That kind of fits. Let's try that. Man. Oh, that they're on. That's an excuse. They're on Zoom. Yeah. Not sure what you're talking about. I'm not going to wait for the 3-minute mark. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm the host of the Daily Trudge. Always have been, probably always will be. It's not like this is the Tonight Show that I'm going to retire at some point and, Jay Leno is going to take over, or Jimmy Kimmel or somebody. So if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Did that background give you an ocular migraine? Yeah, I took it down. It was too much. You can't have so much going on that it detracts from what you're doing. So it's my therapist. Yeah. Oh, that my therapist, that's an excuse because it's on Zoom. Okay, I get it now. I like my therapist. I liked her so much that when I got Medicaid back, the first thing that I did was set an appointment with her. Because she knows all about me. And I didn't want to have to re-explain it to somebody else again. Top priorities in addiction recovery involve detox and abstinence. Yes, we got to get off the hooch first. Jimmy Fallon might be an alcoholic. He might be. I'd say out of all of them, I probably like Jimmy Fallon the best just because I like his uniqueness. He varies things, but I don't watch any of the late night shows. I'm not awake. So who's the other one? Oh, Jimmy Kimmel. That guy's just an ass. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. He just rides with it. He like, oh, I'm all about women and their rights. Did you ever see The Man Show? Did you ever watch The Man Show with Jimmy Fallon? Yeah. Girls in bikinis jumping on trampolines. Yeah, he's full of shit. All right. Well, no, that's not true. People can change. People can change. So maybe he has changed. So detox and abstinence. When it comes to alcoholism, if you've been drinking for a while, you're going to need detox. You're going to need medical help. Okay? Detoxing from alcohol is the most dangerous drug. Is the most dangerous drug to get off of. Okay. Yeah. People will probably want to argue with that, but no, that's just a scientific fact. But, the rest of them are highly uncomfortable, but there's one other one I can't remember. There is another one that can kill you. I think it's benzos, but don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure. But it can kill you. It's very, very dangerous. I know that we have a lot of fentanyl and opiate death going on right now, but they still haven't matched the amount of people that die from alcoholism, which is about 20 people an hour in the world that die from alcohol-related deaths. All right. So, yes, hey, buddy. You going to give me a neck massage? Therapy and counseling. What we need is a support system. And we're talking about the priorities in recovery. And, your sponsor should probably be a priority. I have one guy who keeps changing it because he thinks other things are priorities. And I don't agree, but I also don't live his life. It's his recovery, man. I'm not going to make those choices for him. But, that just means that it was an hour I could have been helping somebody doing something. You just sneaking onto my lap. Is that what's going on? Okay. Building a support network. You can do this through a lot of different places. There's a lot of different programs out there that are support networks. I prefer AA, but it's not the only one. AA is not the only place. There's Celebrate Recovery, there's Smart Recovery, there's Dharma, there's Wellbriety. These are all support systems where you can get help. The thing about that is then you can hear other people's experiences who have been where you have been, where you are at, and utilizing their experience, you can get through it also. All right. Self-care. I think self-care is a big one, but a lot of us don't really understand what self-care is. Okay? And that could be a lot of different things. And it's going to kind of be your preference. Some people enjoy working out. I know a lot of people that get a pretty big high from working out. Running, maybe you got a hobby like Amber does a lot of tie-dye stuff. It's one of her side hustles. Actually says Dharma is also a tie-dye company that sells dyes. That fits. That certainly fits. Tie-dye and Dharma definitely fit. It's kind of the ambiance that goes with it, right? There's a lot of different going to meetings, creating a fellowship, getting out of self, take a shower, take a nap. Last night I was pretty tired and it was only like 4:00 in the afternoon. So I laid down, took a 20-minute nap. Amber says self-care is when I do my nails and shave my eyebrows. Shave them. Not pluck them. I do the same thing. I have a little setting. My eyebrows get out of control. Right. I don't want to have these big old bushy eyebrows. But part of it's missing. Part of my eyebrow right here is missing. You probably can't really see it on camera. It's when I got stitches. I got stitches when I was 2 years old because I crawled underneath the coffee table and bit my dad's big toe, and he kicked upwards, and I flipped around and hit my head on the table. That table has been through so much, and it is actually older than I am, and I still have it. There's like there's so much shit that it needs to be sanded down and redone. But it's actually the only thing that I have from my childhood. The only thing. It was our coffee table when I was growing up. I believe it belonged to my grandma before that. But things like 60 years old. Right? Developing healthy coping mechanisms to prevent relapse and maintain sobriety. We also kind of have to remember that I'm going to go a little different way with the priorities here now. Some people may have a different priority than me. you know, what other people's priorities are and what mine are might be different. There's some people that are wanting to argue with me. They're like, oh no, they want to argue with me about rock bottom. And I'm like, if you want to go with rock bottom, you go right on ahead. But what I'm going to do is continue meeting people where they are at. I'm not going to expect them to get so bad that they have to come to me begging for help. You don't need to beg. If somebody says, hey, I need some help, there we go. That's good enough for me. I can go ahead with that. Sponsees. Let's say I'm a professional. Maybe I'm doing recovery coach stuff. I was just talking to, hi, Michelle. Good to see you. I was just talking to a guy about this yesterday. Yes, H is for horses. But, when I have quote unquote clients or whatever, my sponsees come first. It's a priority. My family comes first. Right? But Dion, doesn't recovery have to come first? My family is part of my recovery. My friends are a part of my recovery. There's a lot of things that are a part of my recovery. Now, I do everything that I can to get to at least one meeting a day. I've already been to 1.5 today. I went to an 8:00 meeting and they weren't there. Like 8:05. So I went to a half a meeting. Just listened, just got out of a meeting. Getting ready to run a meeting in about 39 minutes. Well, not in about 39. Oh, 38 minutes now. It'll be in 38 minutes. I'll be running a meeting. Nobody signed up to chair, so I'm gonna run it. I looked at him like, oh, I didn't take any days. I mean, so I'm just the person that kind of backs up when it hasn't been filled. Is how I handle that. Now, if it gets too big, and there'll be sometimes that I have to, but I also host and I'm the timer and I do verifications and I wrote the script and the format and it's okay. This stuff will start to be, that's part of my service work. And there's another priority, service work. Every day is a day that I have a chance to help another person, which is one of the main reasons that I do the daily trudge, so that I can help somebody. All right. Michelle says, I've been dealing with Medicare. Oh, that's no fun. That's no fun. I'll pray for you on that one. See, for now right now for Michelle right now, that's a priority because her health is a priority, right? Yeah. We can't have alcohol as our priority anymore. And it used to be the number one priority, right? Yeah. Praying, that's a priority for Dion. Taking a little bit of time for Dion each day. What I've been doing with that is it's springtime, so I've been doing yard work, and that's me just cleansing my soul, something about playing in the dirt that just makes me feel better. Looking at it, be like, oh gosh, that looks a lot better. Check that out. I did that. And I don't really need anybody else to tell me good job because, I can appreciate my own work. It's all right. Pulling the weeds and I was having my kids do it and they're like, we started doing it, we saw mold. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's dirt. It has mold in it. That's why I bought all those gloves. You're not supposed to be eating it. So I just thought it was a poor excuse to not get it done. I'm getting it done. Yeah. What I'm doing is kind of a big project. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a half hour at a time. I don't have to get a certain amount done. I just have to do something about it for half an hour each day. And then by the end of the week, it'll be done. instead of going, oh man, I got to get all this done right now. Yeah, I don't need to put that kind of pressure on myself. Right. And this is kind of coming up just because, well, it kind of came up because I was in a meeting and somebody I'm working with was in there, and all they talk about is their court case and that court today. But what I haven't heard was I'm working on my 4-step and I'm learning this. And yeah, they haven't been doing their 4-step. And we already had this conversation. Now I'm like, dude, skipped yesterday. I asked my sponsees that they work on the 4-step 15 to 20 minutes each day until we're done with it. There's a whole set of things around it. It's about letting go. It's about delayed gratification. It's about staying consistent with it. And if you don't stay consistent with it, it's going to be hard to get back to, and you'll supply yourself with excuses. Okay. But they felt that their priority was meeting with their lawyer to get prepared. I'm like, don't you have all day? I kind of feel like I should be the priority here because your lawyer ain't helping you stay sober. He's not teaching the program. Okay. So if I'm low on the priority and you keep changing times on me or moving things around and it doesn't stay consistent, eventually I'm just going to tell you find another sponsor because I that's not how we do things around here. We got to do structure. We got to, if playing video games or D&D with your friends is more of a priority than meeting with me, then I'm glad your life is much better, but you're just a little boy whistling in the dark to me, So recovery has got to be our number one priority. God has got to be our number one priority. I know, at least for this alcoholic, has been my experience. So that's kind of how it works. So don't lose sight of your priorities. Don't let other things like worldly clamors or things going on in your life, that didn't stop you before from drinking, and it shouldn't stop you from going to meetings. All right. That doesn't always work that way, but for the most part, we got to make sure that we get to a meeting each day, especially if you drink every day. I drink every day without fail, man. Right. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go set up for the noon meeting here. Like I said, this was a mini trudge, and 20 minutes is mini for Dion. So I hope to see some of you there. I'll see some of you in about 33 minutes. Others, we will probably see you tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.